Right now, inside your body, cancer cells are forming, and your immune system is quietly destroying each and every one. This has been happening since the day you were born, and most people will never learn this single important truth. The real question brilliant researchers began asking was not why people get cancer, but why more people actually do not. The answer completely changes how you understand your body, your health, and everything you ever thought you knew about cancer. Cancer is not the sudden enemy that jumps out from darkness to attack you in some unexpected and frightening moment. It is actually a slow and incredibly complicated biological process developing inside you quietly over many long years and decades. Every single cell in your body works by copying and pasting itself, constantly renewing you from the very inside out. This constant renewal is the miracle of life, but it comes with a hidden and unavoidable cost that most ignore. But during that copying process, your body makes tiny mistakes, small errors in your genetic code that accumulate every day. Researchers confirmed that your body makes exactly 10,000 of these DNA copying errors during each single 24-hour period. 10,000 DNA errors every single day, and yet you are still here, still healthy, still breathing, still beautifully alive. That extraordinary fact alone tells you something remarkable about the hidden power your body quietly carries deep within itself, always. Your body is not helpless. It is in fact one of the most sophisticated cancer-killing machines the universe has designed. Your body has built-in defense systems, your immune system, your ability to block blood supply to every single rogue cell. These defense systems work tirelessly around the clock to stop microscopic cancers before they ever get a real fighting chance. Now here is the part that will absolutely shock you. The part that most doctors never tell their own patients. When people die from causes that have nothing to do with cancer, their autopsies reveal something completely and utterly unbelievable. Between the ages of 40 and 50, autopsy studies show that 40% of women already carry microscopic breast cancer. Not cancer that was ever diagnosed, not cancer anyone knew about, but silent microscopic cancers living quietly inside their bodies. Most of those women never developed dangerous cancer because their own incredible body kept it perfectly contained and completely harmless. For men between the ages of 50 and 60, 50% silently carry prostate cancer without ever once knowing it. And by the time someone reaches 70 years old, nearly every single person carries microscopic thyroid cancer somewhere deep inside. These cancers do not kill them, they do not make them sick, they simply sit there completely silent and dormant. So cancer is not a sudden external attack, it is something that lives inside all of us, quietly all along. And if the environment stays unfavorable for cancer, those microscopic seeds stay dormant and completely harmless for your entire life. The real difference between someone who survives and someone who does not is what happens in their internal body environment. Think of every microscopic cancer cell in your body as a tiny seed sitting quietly in dark and fertile soil. The seed exists, but it will never grow unless the soil around it becomes the perfect environment for dangerous growth. That soil is your internal environment, and what you eat and do every day shapes that soil in profound ways. The single most powerful thing that waters and fertilizes those bad cancer seeds is something we call chronic body inflammation. Inflammation itself is not your enemy. It is actually your body's natural healing response to injury and internal cellular stress. But when inflammation becomes chronic, when it simply never turns off, it becomes the most dangerous cancer fuel imaginable.
Chronic inflammation releases chemicals called cytokines, and those cytokines act like powerful growth hormones directly feeding hungry cancer cells daily. Cancer cells absolutely love cytokines. They respond to them the way a starving person responds to the smell of food. Normal cells suffer and struggle in a chronically inflamed environment, but cancer cells thrive and multiply with explosive, terrifying speed. A perfect example of this is what happens to your delicate skin every single time you get a painful sunburn. The skin turns red, blisters form, it burns intensely, and that entire terrible reaction is your body's inflammation system working. One sunburn is manageable. Your body heals it, but repeated sunburns over many long years create a very different story. Each burn adds more DNA mutations, more inflammation, and more fertilizer for silent, dormant cancer seeds deep inside your skin. That is exactly how a small, microscopic, abnormal skin cell slowly transforms and eventually becomes a dangerous and deadly melanoma. The same destruction happens with alcohol. People who drink heavily often develop chronic acid reflux that continuously burns their esophagus. Alcohol relaxes the protective valve at the base of the esophagus, allowing corrosive stomach acid to splash upward and burn. Over time, that repeated chemical burn creates chronic inflammation, accumulating mutations, and a dramatically increased risk of deadly esophageal cancer. Understanding these triggers does not leave you powerless. It actually gives you more control over your health than you realize. So now you understand the devastating mechanism. Chronic inflammation creates the perfect soil for cancer seeds to sprout and flourish. The question is, what can you actually do about this? And the answer is more powerful and simple than you expect. The answer is not found in expensive medications or complicated treatments. It is found right on your everyday dinner plate. Let us begin with one of the most misunderstood and unfairly feared foods in the entire modern world of nutrition: soy. A simple plant-based food has been avoided by millions of women because of one terrifying and completely false myth. The myth says soy contains plant estrogen. Plant estrogen mimics human estrogen, and human estrogen directly feeds dangerous breast cancer. On the surface, that logic sounds completely reasonable, and millions of well-meaning people have genuinely believed it for many years. But the moment you actually compare the chemical structure of plant estrogen to human estrogen, absolutely everything changes, quite dramatically. They look nothing alike at all, not even remotely similar in structure, in composition, or in the way they function. Plant estrogen from soy does not mimic human estrogen inside your body. It actually does the exact complete opposite entirely. Soy phytoestrogens actually block human estrogen, acting exactly like nature's own version of tamoxifen, the powerful, highly effective cancer-blocking drug. Tamoxifen is one of the most prescribed oncology drugs in the world, specifically designed to block estrogen from feeding cancer. And soy does this naturally, completely for free, with absolutely zero side effects every single time you consume it regularly. But the cancer-fighting power of soy does not stop at blocking estrogen. It goes much deeper and much further still. Soy contains a powerful compound called genistein, and genistein has been scientifically proven to starve cancer directly of its blood supply. Cancer needs blood vessels to survive and grow, building new ones through a process called angiogenesis to continuously feed itself. Genistein cuts off that entire process, stopping cancer from building those vessels and quite literally starving the growing tumor completely. Now, if you're still skeptical, do not worry, because the research behind soy is not just one isolated study.
The Shanghai breast cancer study followed 5,000 women who already had breast cancer, representing the absolute highest possible risk. The women eating the most soy consumed about 1 cup of soy milk and 10 grams of soy protein daily. Those women had a 30% decreased risk of dying from their breast cancer compared to women who avoided soy. A 30% lower death risk from just 1 daily cup of soy milk is absolutely not a small thing. For women who had already beaten cancer and feared its return, soy reduced recurrence risk by 20 to 30%. And this was not one cherry-picked study. There were 14 consecutive independent studies, all confirming the exact same powerful result. 14 studies, every single one showing higher soy consumption is clearly linked to lower cancer mortality without a single exception. The science is unambiguous, and the conclusion is undeniable. Soy is not your enemy. It is one of your allies. Now let us talk about something that most men completely overlook, but that could quite literally be saving their life. Tomatoes, one of the most ordinary and affordable foods on Earth, are also one of the most powerful cancer fighters. Inside every tomato is a natural compound called lycopene, with an extraordinary proven ability to cut off cancer's blood supply. Harvard conducted a massive long-term study following over 36,000 men for more than 20 years, tracking their food carefully. Men who ate just 2 to 3 servings of cooked tomatoes every week had 30% lower prostate cancer risk. And the men who still developed prostate cancer had far less aggressive and significantly less dangerous tumors because of tomatoes. Cooking tomatoes actually increases the bioavailability of lycopene, making well-cooked tomatoes dramatically more powerful than raw ones for cancer defense. And when you slow-cook tomatoes with extra virgin olive oil, the lycopene absorbs into your bloodstream far more efficiently. Lycopene is fat-soluble, which means olive oil actively unlocks its full potential and maximizes its cancer-fighting power inside you. A slow-simmered tomato sauce made with quality olive oil is quite literally one of the most powerfully anti-cancer meals possible. The humble tomato has been quietly protecting cultures who eat it for centuries, and science is only now catching up. Now let us talk about apples, a fruit so simple and familiar that most people never think deeply about it. Inside the flesh of every apple is a powerful compound called chlorogenic acid, one of the strongest anti-inflammatory substances known. Chlorogenic acid works directly to lower inflammatory markers throughout your body, cooling down the exact environment that cancer loves to exploit. The fiber in apples also feeds your gut microbiome, which then produces short-chain fatty acids that further powerfully reduce inflammation. Your gut microbiome is essentially your body's second immune system, and feeding it correctly is one of the smartest decisions. Now, berries might look small and ordinary, but inside those tiny, colorful fruits hides truly extraordinary cancer-fighting biochemical power. Blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, and gooseberries all contain natural pigments called anthocyanins, carrying truly remarkable and powerful cancer-fighting healing properties. Anthocyanins do something extraordinary. They simultaneously strengthen blood vessel walls and cut off the blood flow that feeds growing tumors. They are also among the most potent antioxidants known to science, directly shielding your precious DNA from cancer-causing cellular damage. Most people do not realize that raspberries are pound for pound the most fiber-rich berry food you can possibly eat. That dense fiber feeds your gut microbiome, lowers chronic inflammation, and directly weakens the soil cancer seeds depend on completely.
Every time you eat a handful of berries, you are not just snacking, you are waging real war against cancer. This is not a trivial insight. This is one of the most powerful and actionable pieces of health information today. Now here is the part that completely ties everything together and changes the way you see every single daily choice. Every anti-inflammatory food you consume is essentially turning down the dangerous heat under the soil where those cancer seeds wait. Every processed meal, every sugary drink, every destructive habit turns that heat up and actively invites cancer to start growing. Your body already knows how to fight cancer. What it needs is for you to simply stop helping cancer win. This is not about living in fear. It is about reclaiming the power you already have in your daily choices. The science is absolutely clear. The studies are completely real,
And the changes you can begin making today are simple. Reduce the things that ignite chronic inflammation, add the foods that cool it, and your body will handle the rest. You were not born helpless against cancer. You were born with an extraordinary and fiercely intelligent defense system operating inside. Feed it correctly, protect it from chronic inflammation, and that remarkable defense system will silently protect you every single day. Genetics may load the gun, but lifestyle is what pulls the trigger, and that truth is sobering yet profoundly empowering. You are not a passive victim of your own biology. You are an active and powerful participant in your own protection. Two people with identical genetics can have completely different health outcomes based purely and entirely on the lifestyle choices they make. Scientists once thought genes determined everything, but epigenetics has now proven that lifestyle and environment reshape how your genes express. The food on your plate is not just fuel, it is a direct signal sent constantly to your own cells. That signal either tells your immune system to strengthen and defend, or to slowly lower its guard and allow danger. Start with soy if estrogen-sensitive cancer runs in your family. Just one simple cup of soy milk a day matters. Add slow-cooked tomato sauce with olive oil 2 to 3 times weekly and give your body the lycopene it needs. Eat an apple daily, not because of an old saying, but because chlorogenic acid is genuinely and powerfully protecting you. Add a generous handful of mixed berries to your morning and let the anthocyanins do their remarkable cancer-fighting protective work. These are not extreme radical changes. These are small, consistent daily choices that rebuild your body's powerful ability to defend. Consistency is the secret ingredient. One berry here or there will not cut it, but daily commitment transforms your environment. And remember, your body has been fighting this battle every single day since the moment you were born, and winning. Every single morning you wake up healthy, your immune system has already silently defeated thousands of dangerous and abnormal cells. Your job is simply to give your body the tools it needs to keep doing this extraordinary protective work daily. Because this is not about fighting cancer after it takes hold. This is about never giving it a real chance. That is the true revolution in cancer science, not treating disease, but preventing the environment in which cancer naturally thrives. And the most extraordinary thing about this revolution is that all the tools are already sitting right in your kitchen. The soy milk, the tomatoes, the apples, the berries, they are not just foods, they are powerful medicine in disguise. Not the medicine from a pharmacy, but the medicine that billions of years of evolution placed carefully inside nature itself. Because deep inside you, a silent battle is being fought every single day, and your body desperately wants to win.
Give it the right weapons, and it will win that battle for you, quietly, powerfully, and every single beautiful day.